Um, I'm not gonna.
I'm surprised you had to think that long.
No. I'm not gonna say that I get away with things. I am aware of pretty privilege and having access to certain spaces, maybe quicker than people sometimes. So that is a thing, but I don't think that.
Like you're at the front of the line. You don't wait in the lines at the club. They bring you to the front.
Probably. Well, you have to also think I'm still a Black girl in LA, so I'm like more on the darker side is what they would say out here. Whereas, like, if I were lighter, like I wouldn't like. I've seen girls get in the club that were like busted before me. So I mean, I've been on both ends of it, where it's like I don't have to wait. But I try not to go places where I don't know anybody at the door. But if it's a white guy, I'm definitely waiting.
I would go with the white guy. They would let you in more because they would let them black women.
I've been in situations where they've made me wait. I've been in situations where they would let me in and they wouldn't want to let my friend in right away. So it's like I can't. I'm not an asshole. I'm not gonna have my
leave your friend
out there. I'm like, well, I can just wait because I came with somebody else. So yeah.
What do you go by? Like, what is your name that you go by? 'Cause I know you got you got your name, then you got your podcast. Like, what do you normally go by?
I go by my name. I mean, my podcast is Whiskey Soured, and then the other podcast with my homegirls is For the Hard Way. But no, I go by my name, Dominique. So yeah, you can put my government name out there. That's my name.
I'll just make sure. So you like Dominique? You like the Dominique Levels, or you just like just straight Dominique?
It's Dominique. I have a nice last name, but it's just that my account is like registered to my full name, my billing name. So yeah.
Got it. In that case, then, thank you for tapping into the Authentic Podcast Intriguing Nerds. I'm your host, JT, here in the car, do some technical difficulties, but the show must go on, especially when you got a beautiful, fine-ass woman like her on this motherfucker, you got to make time. You do it in the middle. I'll be driving down the 5 on the damn freeway shooting this damn like, hey, do a good podcast. Fuck it, you got to make it happen. I'm your host, JT, here, a.k.a. Mr. Love Games. Go follow our brother, by the way, Mr. Love Games. Yes, indeed. Here with the beautiful sultry queen who I just met about 5 minutes ago, who just decided to say, you know what? I don't know you, but I'm going to bless your pod, even though I don't know you. And I'm so thankful. Give it up for Miss Dominique. Hey! You make short hair look good. You make short hair look good. Everybody can make short hair look good, but damn, you make short hair like, man. How you doing today, Queen?
I'm actually like, I'm so exhausted, low key. I have a lot of other projects that I'm working on. So yeah, just running, like I said, like my 9 to 5. I have a candle business on top of the other 2 podcasts. So it's just been, like this past year, a year of exhaustion, really trying to navigate through COVID. I honestly hope that we get locked down again. Not gonna lie. Just because
Why?
Americans are selfish and irresponsible. This is I not on top of just like the shit that happens to niggas. Like I think that America is like a terrible place. Like, I understand that we have a lot of liberties and that a lot of other countries don't have, but I'm over this shit. And I feel like we could have been ahead of things had the CDC not lifted the mask mandates, because when they lifted the mask mandates, we knew that there was a Delta variant out there. So I don't know why these motherfuckers thought that shit was not going to come here. So here we are. There's a Delta variant. There's now a Gamma variant. So we're going to be in the thick of this shit for a minute. And people keep talking about like, oh, other things that we've experienced, like the Spanish flu. Yeah, that was in 1912 or whenever the fuck it was. But that shit almost lasted 3 years. So it's like, so I don't know. I don't understand why they thought that something that they never really experienced or knew what it was. I don't give a fuck where it was created in a lab or whatever. But you have to even think, and just the bullshit, like the whole thing with the vaccination, it's just like, we had to be vaccinated to go to school. If you didn't, you had to have like a certified letter from like your priest, pastor, whoever is your bishop, whoever it was, stating why you did not want to be vaccinated. And then to go on trips to certain countries, you have to get a shot. Like going to Africa, like you have to get like a shot for like Ebola and like other like things to prevent you from getting sick. So I don't even know why this is a fucking conversation, but there's just like Americans are really arrogant, and this is why we're in the bullshit that we're in.
Are you vaccinated?
I'm vaccinated, but also I have asthma, so I was like not playing with that shit.
But then my thing is, people still getting it though. So it's like,
It's
like
not, but the vaccine
making me feel comfortable when I know people.
Well, the vaccination, any vaccine that you get, it doesn't prevent you from getting something. It prevents you from pretty much, hey, there's a possibility, like if you add this extra layer of protection, that you won't get like hospitalized sick, where you won't die. So that's what that is. That's just like saying, oh, I don't understand how this person went to war. They had on a bulletproof vest, and then they had like on an extra layer of armor on their head. But it's like, okay, if somebody shoots you in your neck or your face, like we're giving you an added layer. So so the vaccine does not prevent anything. There's no vaccine. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like it's just to protect yourself from getting sick. I have friends that have contracted COVID after getting the vaccine, and that had pre-existing conditions. And they said, had it not been for them having that vaccine, they know for a fucking fact they would have died. So that's what I mean, but like I said, people don't want to read out here. They don't want to listen. They just want to listen to the world of Instagram. So not my issue.
I've talked about this enough, so I'm gonna keep my comments on my conspiracy theoristness and stuff. I caught COVID, so I know the shit is real. And I was feeling it for like a couple of weeks, but I still believe that there's something behind it. Even catching it, I still not.
It's the whole world. It's nothing behind it. I could see if it was like certain areas, or if it was only here, possibly. But it's just like with the bird flu. The bird flu took over fucking China. I have a coworker that was in China when that shit happened. And so like they knew how to navigate it, which is why a lot of those countries, because they've experienced, pandemic, I'm not going to say it was more of an epidemic, but that's how they knew how to navigate. So the shit is real. I don't think that there's any conspiracy behind it, but hey, believe what you want to believe. But I mean, vax it up, because the unvaccinated people are the one that they're spreading the Delta variant. All the people in the hospitals are unvaccinated and wishing that they got vaccinated. That's all I'm saying. So what else would you like to talk about?
I just find it alarming that people, I want to first, because I'm big on Black women appreciation, I want to give a shout out to the mother of my son. Her birthday was on Sunday. It's Wednesday now. We have a soon to be 10-month-old together, and we're not together. We agreed to co-parent and things like that. But, over the last 4 months or so, 5 months, we've gotten along in terms of co-parenting because, we heard each other a lot during the time together and things like that. To where I don't think we can ever go back to dating. But as co-parents, we get along. We got a happy baby and things like that. And I even took I just took him and his mama out earlier today to get some Korean barbecue. Treat her out for her birthday and stuff like that. And I just want to just give appreciation to her because especially in our Black community, it's a lot of baby mama, baby daddy drama. I love my dark skinned queen. She's a dark skinned beauty, tatted, curvy. I'm a breast ass lover. I like a lot of thickness in me. I'm just saying because I know we're still getting to know each other, and like someone like it could be a lot of drama behind it. It could a lot of situations where men are allowed to see their kids, a situation where men ain't even trying to see their kids. And times where you want to get along, but then you might hurt each other, so that gets in the way. And the fact that we've been mature about this and been able to get along, hang out as a family, and things like that sometimes, and be around my son and be able, and I have open visitation, and I'm thankful for that because a lot of brothers don't get these opportunities. Situation. I know brothers right now going through custody battles and shit like that, and it's like I'm just thankful that I love the smoke. You gotta forgive me. I'm just thankful that I have a beautiful woman who being patient and allowing us to co-parent together and things like that. So I want to really shout her out. And I made a post on my Facebook the other day about our relationship and about giving her praise, and it was like a lot. I got so many comments, especially from women. It was like, "Oh, great job, bigging up your son's mother," and like we need more men like that that just respect the woman even if they're not together and things like that. I got a lot of that, and I try to I want to break the narrative. I want to break a lot of Black narratives as much as I can in terms of like stigmas that have been put upon us over the years. And it's like I try to break those things, and one thing I want to break is that mode of, Black parenting and how people believe in like, it can't work, or people think like you can't get along unless sleeping together. Cause people be thinking that me and my son's mother still fuck, and I ain't got time to explain to people about that shit. Like, oh, are we fucking or not? I ain't got time to explain that shit, And I just want to just try to lead by example to the guys watching, women watching, give a little hope to the ladies. Like, okay, there are brothers who do respect their mother, their children, and stuff like that. Give hope to the brothers to be like, all right, man, I could be, even though we're not together, I could probably be a little bit more cordial with my baby mother or be more respectful. I try to lead by example. So I'm just wanting to just give her a shout out and just show that love right there. Forgive me with the smoke and everything. I know I said a lot. I know it was a
lot. We appreciate you being able to acknowledge a woman's worth.
You have kids?
No, but I don't have kids. I do want kids. Or I'm not gonna say plural. I'm gonna say at least one.
You say you want to have at least one kid?
Yeah, at least one.
What's holding you back?
I'm not pressed. I don't think that there's I'm not like I don't think that's never been an ultimate like goal of mine. Growing up, like I didn't aspire to like be a mom, or anything like that. I was just because I know, how complicated it is to have kids and wanting to do certain things, like I think kids are not a joke. And I feel like that kids should be able to be provided with certain things. And if you are going to have a kid, I think that it requires a lot of selflessness. And I'm not at that point yet. Like a lot of my friends are older. And I just had a couple girlfriends have kids. They just turned 40. So
how are they handling motherhood at 40?
I mean, they, one person that I know that had a kid at 40, she also had like other children prior, but she was like, when I had my son at 40, I would have had all my kids later in life because I would have been able to enjoy, experience different things. I was more prepared. Some of my other girlfriend that had a kid at 40, she, they at one point wanted like another kid, but they were like, no, like they waited later, but just the energy that the one kid had, was like, yeah, this is it. But it's just like, they feel like more prepared for having a kid. And I know, not like, regardless, no matter about how much money that you have, nothing can really prepare you for stepping into parenthood, but you want to be able to fully be there for your kid.
But have you, because you're a beautiful woman, it seems like, they'll say when you meet a certain woman at a certain age and she's fine and she's single, she's crazy. So my thing, because to you is, what do you feel, just that, I feel like toxic terms that people say, but what is your reason you feel that if you're single, why you may be single right now?
Who said I was single?
I say if you, okay, never mind. Well, like this, how has your dating experience been over your years? Like, there's mostly good experience, bad experiences. Like, what have you taken from things?
It's been an experience. I would say that for sure. I would say that I've had a great time dating, for the most part. I have had complicated situations navigating the dating space when it comes to Black men. For the most part, just based on, their, I guess, quote unquote preferences, or, like probably having other hangups from situations that they've dealt with in the past. But I'm like, all right, well, they don't have shit to do with me. But
Yeah.
Living in LA, a lot of Black men don't date Black women.
I don't agree with that per se. I just think they don't value Black women. They dog Black women probably more than they would dog the other races.
So I'm like I said, for me, this is just my experience. So that's the space that I, like I said, like trying to navigate. But so I moving to LA from the Midwest, where it's like very Black and white. I did date interracially for a long time out here. I've been out here 11 years. And
I'm
this
10 and a half. Okay.
So this is so this is the first time that I've like dated somebody Black in that time span. So
you all these years out here, you wasn't dating Black men?
No. It wasn't because I didn't want to. It's just that Black men were like, I think you're attractive, but I don't date Black women.
What kind of men have you? Is it the men? Because a lot of times when, as I say, this is why I want to talk about the episode, Dick Rules, Pussy Controls, because men run the world, but women control how the world goes. And it's like, you saying you came across Black men that wouldn't date Black women, but I'm like, is that Black men, or is that the Black men track? Because there is plenty of Black men that like Black women, and I don't mean they value them; they may just fuck them. But
no. And I'm not blaming that on LA. I know a lot of the bullshit that people talk about when it comes to LA is transplants. So I was afforded the luxury to be in a space where I know a lot of natives, and I have amazing like best friends that are LA natives. And so it's a completely different vibe. It's transplants that come out here and make LA look bad. But I'm saying like in spaces like navigating like Hollywood, like I work in entertainment. So you have to think like that, those are the people that I'm around. So whether it be an athlete, an actor, a singer, or, an exec. somewhere. Like though, that's what happens. So that's
I can see
literally
that.
a lot of women out here can understand and relate to that
But
statement.
on the contrary, though, you said in the industry, but when it comes to the men not in the industry and the lack of
I don't want to date them. They're
quality
short.
men, that
They're
a
short.
lot of times women, even women not from here who've been here a while, have dated, usually have low out experience, not the greatest experiences with calibrated men. So when you say it's usually the transplants, but it's like when it comes to dating, because you're in the industry, you probably just date most of the industry people. But if you're like talking about just men in general, it's like a lot of stories is like the men out here ain't that of great quality. They're fuck black women, but they just will fuck them and they don't appreciate them. And that's not speak for all of them, but that's just kind of like a consensus what I got from a lot of women from here and one too.
No, I'm not gonna say that. Like I will say this. Like I feel like men that are from here, like they might have like a different vibe or something per se. But I feel like when it comes to like getting shit done, like niggas get shit done. They take care of shit. Like, and but that's my experience though. So I can't speak for anybody else, but that's just, I'm navigating like my space.
Because you said navigate MySpace, like the MySpace, or you get navigate in your space.
Yeah, like would be my space, like for me, not the program.
I know it was just funny because with the way you said it, you said MySpace. I'm like MySpace.
No, but I didn't say
Tom?
it one word. Like that was one word, but I was like navigating my
I
space.
know. I was just trying to be funny. You know, sure.
It wasn't funny.
You said whatever. I would say so. That's crazy. That's crazy. You got me. Oh, and you've been here for a while, so it's like that's kind of hard because I've only dated black women out here, and I've been here 10 years. I don't even look at white girls. I've been attracted to a white girl. Yeah, I'm 36 now. Probably my early 20s. The last white girl I dated, I was still in the East Coast. I'm from DC, Maryland, and she was from Germany, so she wasn't even an American. The last American white girl, I think I was like 18 years ago. I'm 36, and the last one was like, I think I was 18. You know, and people. But the thing is, people always used to grow up. Even with my son's mother, they see him, they think they would think because he's a light baby. They'll think that, or because the way I carry myself and he's lighted. Some people was like, "Oh, I thought your son's mother was white." I was like, "Huh? What the fuck? Where'd you get that from?"
No, you're probably from PG County. It ain't many white people over there.
I'm from. I was born in Providence in DC, but I grew up in Silver Spring, Montgomery County.
Okay.
Same city, Dave Chappelle, baby. Let's go. Yeah. So I grew up 25 years in Silver Spring. I moved out here at 25, and I've been out here. I'm 36 now. So,
Okay.
But and back home is very cultural. There's a lot of cultures and stuff like that. It's not so cultural if you're in the L. To me, I speak from because I haven't dated. I direct plays. I've been in the industry, but I don't date a lot of industry women. I date a lot of LA girls from LA. I've dated girls from Inglewood, Watts, Crenshaw, Baldwin Hills, fucking Long Beach, like Gardena, Hawthorne. I'm a ratchet lover. I don't even say ratchet. I just always like my women with some ghetto or a lot of ghetto. Like me, I got no tats. I got no tats. But my son's mother, like she a curvy, dark, brown skinned woman with curves, and she got tat on her across on her thighs, legs, and stuff like that. It's a contrast. So when people see me with her, she dolls herself up. So and men love some curvy women, especially if she's curvy and it's built right. Oh, so she's always used to turning heads and things like that, and that's what I like. A little attitude. Because my family grew up in the ghetto. I'm used to my moms, my aunts, and them. They'll curse their boyfriends out. Shut the fuck up, you motherfucker. Da, da, da. Like they go in. They keep their dudes in check. They don't play that shit. So I've always kind of had a thing for some ghetto women.
I'm not gonna No, but let's just in that here, like ghetto. Let's say sass, like a little spice. So you like your women spicy. Because when we think of the word ghetto, to a certain extent, it's just like, like
I
Anglo-Saxon
don't think
American.
ghetto's bad. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
necessarily
like,
think ghetto's
but
bad.
it has developed this negative connotation. So you like spice. Like you want it spicy, and that's cool.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like there were women, they look at me like, you want this, boy? Can you even handle this? But they don't really know I'm crazy too. And when they learn that I got my
That
edge
tends
and
to
I got
happen when you like spicy women. You have to have a
and, and, and,
supply for it.
and that fucks their head up and shit like that, and it starts turning them on like, oh, let me finally got a little edge. He almost fucked me up for a second. He had me believing he was going to whoop my. I was just, I like to not look like, I bring I like to look like I could bring what I bring. Like I look, most people hard. A lot of guys like carry themselves like hard on the outside, but really they soft on the inside, or they hard. They just hard. They got no emotions. Period. And then you got people who are soft on the outside, but hard as fuck on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So my like you're not gonna get the gangster right away. Cause I'm a kind of gangster, but I'm not gonna let you get that side unless you push them buttons. Then yeah, you would get there. And speaking of gangsters, I wanted to talk about when I was talking about Dick Rules, Pussy Controls. Like, and I have this on my notes. Yeah, there we go. Cause I was talking about like, so you have a different theory because cause I like to talk about stuff mainly mostly when it comes to the Black culture, but I like to try to speak in as a whole. But it's like, especially in the Black community, like women want men with status, men with money and stuff like that, and that's cool. But like in the Black community, I try to tell ladies this a lot. Like, it's maybe about 10 to 15% of established paid brothers out here, you know, and then and it's like with that, when guys who got money and power, you know, they're always gonna have women around. And I'm at the theory that I don't believe. I'm not saying it's not possible, but men with money and power ain't being faithful to just one woman. They might have their main girl or another main or two main girls or whatever, and some side drain. But niggas is always fucking. Because men are fucking. There's broke niggas that got mad pussy around, things like that. You think a nigga who's making fucking
That's all they have to
80,000.
offer. So they have to throw like bomb dick. So a broke nigga has to know how to fuck. Because a lot of time a broke nigga don't have nowhere to like rest his head. So he has to rely on his dick game to navigate the spaces that he's in.
Yeah, but I also think money makes people more of what they already were. So if I'm a man who was smashing a lot growing up as an athlete, a ball player, I've forgotten all the girls, I've been the athlete, and then I make it to the league and I got millions of dollars, I'm not gonna just stop. If anything, I'm gonna smash more, and this time the women are gonna be of higher quality because I got money now. So it's like you're just making a man be more of what he is. It's like with a man who got an ego, who thinks it's all about me, 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 me. If you give him that money, he's gonna become a bigger me, 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 me guy. And if you have somebody who's humble with it, might make it. They might be more humble because they're thankful that they got it there. But ain't too many humble millionaires or men with money because you have to.
But you have to
For the
think
most part,
a lot of that relies in like part of it is ego, a lot of it men navigate through insecurity. And that's been my experience dating out here, dating men that are high profile, people, regardless of like what genre they fall under. A lot of men navigate through insecurity. And so them having money adds a layer of protection to those insecurities. So, but as you get to know that person, that layer starts to peel back a little bit. It's just like, you know, how you get a new phone and it's shiny and then they have that shield of protection and then you try to leave it on there as long as possible, but then little things start to get under it. And then you at some point have to, you know, just throw it away. And so that person has now fully revealed themselves to you and you're like, felt like you were kind of blindsided by these, because he put up this front. A lot of people, when they meet them, they're not, women included, they're not their true selves. It's an interview. You know, you
representative.
You present yourself a certain way, and you're trying to figure out who this person is. So you're asking certain questions, and you know what.
But it's hard to figure people out if that person's not themselves. If it's not themselves, how honest are they going to be?
But that's what happened. But that's why, you know, and unfortunately, that's why there's a huge issue with social media. Social media is the killer, man. And so I went to college. I went to school for broadcast journalism and PR. So when I got my degree, it was right before the social media takeoff in 2010. So there was Twitter, Facebook was just for college kids only, which was great. I remember. MySpace was falling off a little bit, starting to fall off because we had Facebook. And then you had, it was just that. So it was Twitter, MySpace, and Facebook. And you had to, and Twitter was created not for what we turned it into. Twitter was supposed to be kind of like more like customer like support, like how you can reach out to a business and things like that. But we, you know, took it and made it something even greater. That is the power of social media and like that network. So you are in this space. I'm in LA at this perfect time. There was this brief window where LA was perfect. From club scenes to the people that you would hobnob with. Nobody was worried about, is this person going to take a picture of me and send it to the shade room? True. Or baller alert. And World Star existed. I had a friend who had recorded a video that went viral on World Star. Yeah, World Star been popular for a long time. Yeah, so it was like over the years though, it got more popular to World Star things. So exactly, because we live in this space of sensationalism and everybody puts on a front. So it's always most people put up a front. No, everybody puts on a front. I say most because the ones that do be it themselves, they usually the weirdos. Because like, who is this guy? Why is he so open? Or why is she so just outspoken and stuff? That's people being themselves for the most part. It's still part of that is still certain layers that people. Social media allows people to live you can create, you can cultivate what you want people to see. So I remember when I was going through like a depression out here, my friend back home was like, I would have never known because on social media, you always look happy. And I was like, posts sometimes are old. 2, even though you are going through a dark moment, you never know what somebody else is going through and how you can be a light in that person's life. So a lot of people don't know how to navigate social media, and that's the hang up because, you know, we get caught up on the perfect body, the perfect makeup, the perfect hair, the perfect wardrobe, and all of it is fake. I know that from working, you know, in retail out here at one point, seeing people buy stuff, take the photo and bring that shit back. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people don't know how to navigate and curate a space that's healthy for their mental state. So what did you feel about my theory about when I say
the dick rules and the pussy controls?
I think that yes. I think pussy does like run a lot of shit, but I feel like a lot of bitches don't know how to use their pussy to their advantage.
They're not using it to making money, but money is not
I
just
don't mean
necessarily your advantage.
I'm, and it has nothing to do with, because a lot of times women, we always think about women, oh, she's fucking this person, or you're using, or you're doing this, or you're doing that under the table. And a lot of times you don't even have to do that. Some people do that, and that's cool if that's what you want to do, but a lot of times you don't have to do that. It's a way that you navigate just solely based on the way that you move. A lot of times you don't have to fuck. It's a reason why, there is a lane for sugar babies that be fucking, but it's a lot of sugar babies out here that's not fucking at all. It's a lot of people. So I feel like sometimes, but that's also a level of a new level of like confidence and the energy that you exude to be able to.
The women be lying when they be saying like, and some may be the cases where they're not fucking a sugar daddy, but I'm there those cases that may say they ain't fucking a sugar daddy and they are.
Yeah, so like I said, some women are, and some women aren't. And everybody always don't have a sugar daddy, because a lot of times men, y'all libido drops after a certain age. Women's like libido like will increase, especially as they get in their mid to late like 30s, early 40s. Like women have a high sex drive. Men, y'all starting to kind of plateau. And so a lot of men want company. They want to be able to hang out. They want to be able to kick it, because clearly this person could have potentially been a player back in his day. And at some point, his homeboys or whatever, like they caked up, they wifed up. And so now they want companionship. That does happen. And a lot of times women are not fucking. I've been in situations where it's like, hey, I know that this is happening. There might be an age gap, but don't fucking embarrass me. Like, I know that you are still young and attractive, and you might go out with your girlfriends. Don't let me find no shit out and make it get back to me or have me embarrassed. So it's a different game, but it's like an understanding that you have with the person that you're dating. But women, it's a lot of rooms. Like we talk about like pretty privilege and having access. It's a way that you move when you get in those spaces, when you get in the room.
I kind of want to know, how do you move?
I mean, it's a way that you speak. It's a level of power. It's a level of power. It's a man thinking that he's going to have access to you, but he never gets that access. Like, seriously, like having conversations. If I know that I could potentially be sitting across from the CEO of Revlon, per se, let's say Revlon or whatever, or LVMH. LVMH owns like a lot of different brands.
I guess these are brands you like right here.
No, well, it's not just that. LVMH has everything from like low end stuff to like high end. So it's not just like Louis Vuitton, Moet. Like it's a whole bunch of brands that fall under that umbrella.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that yes. So if somebody has whispered that to me, I might flirt a little bit, but you're gonna start kicking your shit. And he'll be like, that person, that's the person that I need to partner with. It doesn't always happen, but it's And I didn't have to open my legs to get in that room. People might think I did. That's their issue. I don't give a fuck what people think about me. I know the work that I did. I know the conversations that I had, and I know the contacts that I made to be in that space, to even be sitting across from that person.
It's funny. It just hit me as you were just talking about sugar babies and stuff like that.
I guess I could talk about this. I've talked about this briefly in little other episodes, and my former podcast members used to want me to tell the story. But I used to have a sugar mama. I used to have a sugar mama out here from like 2014 to like 2018, and beautiful older woman too. She was very vibrant. Like she's probably I'm 36 now. She's probably 65, I believe. She had like 27, I think 20 or 64, something like that. But she like it was just crazy how we met and stuff we went through and stuff, and like she looked out for me when I was like on the streets and stuff. She would get hotels. I had a place in North Hollywood, a 1-bedroom that she paid for like 2 years while she was paying mortgage in her place in Ontario. Like, and, but I never tried to intentionally use her. I always feel like God places people in your life, and people say, oh, don't use God in this, but everything happens for a reason. Everybody comes to your life for a reason, season, lifetime. There are certain people, and the way things align, like everything I do when it comes to business, dating, friendships, and stuff like that, I let the things align to like for me to be like, oh, this is supposed to be my friend, or this is supposed to be somebody I could date, or things like that. And with her, everything just aligned and stuff. I didn't even know she was paid like that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until like years in. I was like, oh, you got money. I knew she had money. I didn't know it was like that though. And but I learned a lot from her. I wasn't someone I always wanted to take. She took me on vacations and things like that, and
that's the thing. It's like if you are in those experiences, it is what you leave with. Yes, you went in with nothing, but you left with knowledge, and hopefully those things will take you through the rest of your life. Like we talk about there's that viral clip of the girl saying, well, me and my boyfriend broke up, he bought me a Mercedes and put me in some high-rise apartment. I feel like that he should still be paying for this because this is the lifestyle that he gave me. No, what game?
I saw that clip.
And to me, I'm like, he doesn't owe you that. So that's why you have to be, if you are going to, that's why, again, people not knowing how to navigate those spaces that they're in. Do you want this nigga to buy you a Birkin bag? Which actually, I'm not going to say a Birkin bag. I'm going to just say like a bag, like something materialistic.
Something that makes their status look good. Because all this shit is all about status.
So, but it's just like, are you getting like a speedy bag, or are you getting like somebody to like really invest in you? Like you remember a few years ago, a guy was mad that his girlfriend had bought him like an apartment building. So she gave you some equity. And if y'all break up, you still gonna be getting money off of that. And so people don't think about things and creating generational wealth in the long run. We think about, especially as Black people, and the money and the way that we spend our money. We get paid, it takes a few hours for it to leave our neighborhoods. And the Jewish community, it takes like a few years. Asian communities, like some weeks or some months. So we think about it like that because we don't invest back into our community. And you want to be able to leave with something that's going to elevate you. Is that Louis Bag really?
But elevation though, that is overrated to today's society. People ain't trying to be with somebody who's people are trying to. It's like this. You see a bunch of women who are walking around carrying themselves gracefully like they're Michelle Obama, but then they'll entertain Quavo type nigga and then be like confused why shit is confusing and conflicted. It's like you want to be this, but you still like it's terrible, man.
But it's like, okay, so you got to know what you're dealing with too, because like we know that, and I don't know Quavo. He might be a good guy, like makes cool music, but we don't really know what that's like to navigate or date him. You know, like we really don't hear shit about him. We really don't. You know.
Yeah, and
Now,
he's probably a good dude, but if you're carrying yourself a certain kind of way, certain men are not gonna compliment you, maybe on the outside, but not as a whole, not in a totality, not soulfully or none things like that. Because when you dating for clout and dating for acceptance, you date people who make you look good, not necessarily who make you feel good. You know.
yeah, yes, that's true. But that's also the thing with aligning yourself with people that like and trying to date people that be kind of on the same wavelength as you. And some
A lot of
people,
people don't even know their own wavelengths, though.
see, but I think people are well aware, and I understand that a lot of people have low self-esteem. But a lot of people really, they say they want things, but then they actually say something else. So it's just like I pay attention to nonverbals a lot. I'm like, yeah, you saying that rah rah, but I ain't really, your body language is reading something completely different. And I tell my girlfriends that I'm like, yo, like you saying this, I hear you, but your body language is saying something else. So be cognizant of that. Like you don't believe that's what you want. And so a lot of people not real with themselves. You say you want this or you want to be treated, but you still are in that I want to have fun. So those are the people that you are attracting to you because you just want to have fun and kick it. So you're wondering why you're having like one night stands, whatever, which is cool, if that's what if you want. But ultimately, it's a mindset, and you have to change the way that you navigate in those spaces.
And you just said right there, change is inevitable, but a lot of people don't want to change. There's people that say all the time, man, I wish we go back to high school, I don't want to grow and stuff like that. You gotta be weary of people like that because they don't want to grow.
School. I said I don't know if I would go back to high school.
Me neither, but I'm sure, I don't know if people, not people in your circle now, but people over the years that you probably met that be like, man, I wish we could go back to high school, man. I'm like, no, I don't.
I used to date a guy that was like stuck on like high school accomplishments, like sports accomplishments and things like that. And I was like, so you gonna create new ones and push it, or you gonna keep watching this highlight reel of the past that you can't go back to? So are you gonna create a new space or are you gonna stay there? But I knew because of that, that was one of the things that I picked up on, the cues that I picked up on. I was like, this probably great, fun guy, but what I want out of a partner, I know ultimately that partner could not provide that for me.
But that'd be the problem, and that's where the control thing. When we think they can control shit, even though women can control, they can't control it like the way they want to, because they want to take the fun guy, a guy that they really know they ain't really about what they may really want, and try to make him into what they really want, and then be broken hearted or broken in pieces when they get their hearts broken. And that's foolishness.
Well, I think, no, because you have to think that like we, especially as Black women, have been conditioned that a lot of things come with a struggle. The only thing that I really believe that we should even be teaching y'all is one, how to treat us and how to fuck us, because you can't sleep with me and fuck me like you was fucking somebody else, because we don't like the same thing. But a lot of people don't want to like speak on that. I mean, there's a reason why the numbers the way they are, especially when it comes to intimacy.
I mean, so to give some throwback on that, if you're a man that knows what he's doing, yeah, every woman's different, but every woman's still the same if you know how to listen to the body and please.
But there's a reason why 85% of women are not having orgasms when having intercourse with men.
And then there's a 15% of that's giving the women who are getting it all the orgasms they can get too. They ain't making up for the 85%.
That is true, but that 85 outweighs that 15. So that's no.
Depending on the luck of the draw for the woman.
So
because I've met women who be like they are good at picking good dick guys, and You know, they'll be like,
that has
"You're in
nothing to
bed."
do with a good dick guy. Like, that's just like if all pussy's not created equal. So, but men have to be able to verbalize that too. But a lot of times men don't give a fuck because they look at it like sex is for pleasure for them. They don't think about women when it comes to things like that because that's not how
Some men don't think about women. There are men that are pleasers.
I'm talking about the percentage that are in that 85%. But a lot of men don't. Like, I literally, my homeboy Clint just talked about this on a Vice and Fuckboy, how he fucked the first time he fucked somebody when he was like 15 or however fucking old he was navigating that space based off of a conversation that he had with a friend. You didn't know. And then even throughout, he had a grown woman tell him how to fuck. We're not having, so when you're not vocal about what it is that you need, men, y'all have this ego. Y'all always say women are so sensitive. No, y'all are sensitive as fuck. Because if I tell you you're not getting it, you're not doing it right, or touch me here, that you got a problem. Well, who was you fucking? Or why is it? No, it has nothing to do with that. I'm telling you what I like. I want to enjoy this experience with you as well. So that's
I really don't. I hear you. I personally don't have those issues, you know, because I know how to listen to a woman's body, but I do get what you mean, though. So, you know, I do get what you mean, because I hear the stories, you know. Over here seeing like subtle flexing and shit, but I'm not even trying to flex. I'm just speaking facts. You know, if you are a man who is in tune, because there are men that are pleasers who love to, they're so in tune with the woman that they're in tune with her body, and they can tell by how she's moving and squirming and things like that. And she might even say little things in between. And if you listen and follow, you know, you go to please. Like, simple, you go down, she might say a little softer or something like that. If you listen and you go softer, it's all about the men that want to please, you know, because you got ones that want to please and there's some that just want to get theirs off, you know. So
a lot of things, even not just sex, it is unlearning a lot of things that we were taught, you know, because you got to think of a lot of the toxic masculinity, and even femininity that's been handed down to women as well. So a lot of people, it's unlearning, and it's a lot.
Because I'm learning these young girls are savages, yo. I didn't know they were just this wild. I'm like, I knew the girls. I don't know your age, but I know I graduated in 03. I know women around my area, my era, and stuff like that. And they were fast and things like that. But it seems like now it's just like, it seems like the women are just taking it from the dudes. They being the dudes. And it's like just younger generation, man, especially this internet era. That shit is scary. These women, I've been talking to young girls. They don't talk about marriage and shit like that. They don't think of that internet era. That marriage shit, they ain't paying attention to that shit. Well, little 22-year-old girl guy talking about that.
Because women, like I said, are also in that stage of unlearning. Because, like, you know, not aspiring to marriage. You know, every person don't want to get married. Every woman don't want to get married. Every woman don't want to have kids. You know, I have also a handful of girlfriends that don't give a fuck about not having no kids. It's just nothing that they ever wanted. They're not maternal at all. And that's okay. But we have to realize that that's okay. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them. It's just that I don't want the responsibility that comes with that. That's never been my thing. Like, and that's okay. That doesn't make them broken or strange or weird or anything. It's just that that's just what it is. It's niggas just because we are so used to thinking of men like men saying, I don't want kids. And nobody ever thinks twice about that. And nobody ever will contest those statements. They never do.
Mm-hmm.
So it always falls back onto women, like, especially when it comes to, you know, like women of color, you know, Black women. It's like, what's wrong with you? You're 34. Why don't you want to have kids? I'm like, because I'm still living my life. I know a host of friends that have kids back at home. They hate that shit. They can't move how they want to move. I got my ass out because I'm like, if I stay in this motherfucker, I'm gonna settle for some mediocre ass shit, and I don't want it.
Exactly. It's like I outgrew my area because they didn't get me. Nobody got me. People out here don't even get me, but they didn't get. They just like I remember high school people was like, man, I feel sorry for you. I hope you make it. Because I was talking about moving to LA then. I moved here at 25, but I was like in high school talking about, yeah, I'm going to Hollywood. I'm gonna take this shit over. That kind of. I'm gonna look back at it now. I can see why people thought it was fucking nuts. I grew up. I'm in a small town, Silver Spring. I'm talking about moving to Hollywood and stuff. Do play the shit I'm doing now. And like I said, I wasn't thinking podcasts back then, but directing plays and stuff. Cause I've been writing scripts since I was 8 years old. That was my first story I wrote. I've always been writing stories. I'm working on the script right now because I'm directing my 16th play this December. So I got to get in motion because life, being a father, just everything so much. I'm just trying to get a good little balance. So. But it's like being that creative, I've always had the visions of doing what I'm doing now. But I guess when you are surrounded by small-minded people, which was a lot of people,
Yeah.
The thoughts of that I was talking sounded fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And, so it's like, but now I got a whole slew plethora of supporters, ones who doubted me, things like that are like looking like this motherfucker did it. And I'm gonna wrap this up soon, but I want to really talk about this since we've been talking about the rules, pussy controls thing. I say that because it's like men have the power to have as many women as they want and still get back the woman that they done the worst. And women that can get that too, but it's not as high as men getting back their women because there are more men fucking more women and women fucking more men. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, because the numbers. So women outnumber men. So even in global, so you have to think about like the men that are killed, the men that are incarcerated, the men, especially black men that don't date
the
black
gays.
men. So no, we're not doing that.
No, I'm saying that in terms of like lack of black men for women. Is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, there are men that are gay.
Because if you're incarcerated or you're gay or like two main things or dead, you can't.
Yeah, so and a lot of black women, prefer to date black men, and are not as receptive to open dating interracially. So I will say that that's why, like even in LA, like for every man, there's probably like 22 women. So you have to think about it in that retrospect. So it's like you have to be able to, play that game. And I believe that women should be actively dating until somebody puts a ring on it and really like.
And I feel like, especially with black women, especially if they want a good black man, they need to give all kinds of black men a chance, not just a certain a certain look, a certain style, because there ain't that many black men out here left anyway. Then good men good men with money that want to do right by a woman. So it's like, and as you get older, the clock is ticking. Ain't gonna be that many black men left with some good qualities who ain't broken and bitter or fucking soulless and shit like that. So it's like,
that's not our issue. Go to therapy.
Okay, but I
feel like, but see, because
you're entertaining the ones with the mental issues, though. Like,
yeah, but it's like you can be, but you can also be like, yo, like I think you dope. You need to go to therapy. Like, you projecting a lot.
Here's what I say: women control. Like, instead of a woman could date like a knucklehead nigga or something like that, and date a bunch of knuckleheads, and then say, you know what, black men suck, and give them a white guy, but skip past the quote unquote corny brother or the brother who may. Not be.
That's just not. Unfortunately, like that has nothing to do with you. Like that has everything to do with her. Like, you know what I mean? So you can't get mad because Black women are on the opposite end of that spectrum as well, and say the reverse thing about Black men. So it's just like, they don't have shit to do with you. That has everything to do with them and whatever insecurity or how they have been broken or hurt by somebody. You know what I mean? And a lot of times,
women have the control, though. This is the control.
No,
If the man wants, the woman gets to say.
But see, okay, so in the sense of the control and who they can pick, like, I don't even entertain niggas that seem like that like me. Like, I always have this running joke. We always say, oh, the person that I like, they don't like me. And then it's like, you know, things like that. But I know what I like. And a nigga might be corny and that I like. That, and that's cool. But I don't waste my time with niggas that I'm not attracted to, even in conversation. Like, they might be cool, but they just don't do it for me. And that's okay. That don't mean that I pass.
What is it that they don't do? Is it sexually? Because when I hear women say they don't do it, it's usually like she don't do it to them sexually.
No,
she can be attracted to them mentally, emotionally.
It's like, there's certain women, just like men get friend zoned, women get friend zoned. But I don't hang out.
It's different though, because a man would still fuck that friend though.
They might or they might not. I have friends that are brothers to me. We've never had any sort of sexual attraction. Just like we talk about God putting you in certain spaces. God puts certain people in your lives that are not to be where you don't cross that line. And it ain't never even been an idea or thought. So that's what I mean. Sometimes bitches just don't like niggas like that. And that's okay. He might be corny. But it has nothing to do with him being corny. I'm just not attracted to them in that way. And I feel like women get flack for that all the time. It's like, well, you passed up Thurgood Marshall to go be with Quavo. And it's just like,
because if her goals and the thing she's looking for is not aligned with that man.
Listen, let's be clear. Let's talk about prime example. Everybody,
the man they're looking for ain't aligned with the shit that she wants or needs.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We talk about people and all these different things, and we always talk about the good guy. Martin Luther King, let's say he was a fuckboy. Martin Luther King had bitches, and he was fucking married. Like, no, it's not. I'm sure it's a known fact. And I love Martin Luther King. I love the way he did for our people, whatever. But that's just what it is. It's just like fucking Lawrence on Insecure. Everybody's like, well, Issa made him that way. No, the nigga was always a fuckboy, and that's why Tasha called him out on it. You play this role, you play the game of the nice guy. That's how those are charmers, and they get you in, they reel you in with your charm, and they shit on you. Niggas do that shit all the time, and nobody want to talk about it. But it's Issa's fault. It's Issa's fault because he got there, and I'm not.
A woman has to control though if she allows a nigga to play her. Because a lot of times I know a guy ain't shit to begin with.
A lot of times,
if he's feeding the illusions or whatever, she can entertain him.
No, what happens is a lot of times is that, again, we are taught as Black women that love always has to come with a fucking struggle. So you are waiting.
Drama.
That's part of the struggle. That is all of that. It lies in that space. So it's the simple fact that, in order for me to really receive and understand this nigga, like, I know it's gonna come with complicated things, and we're gonna tussle. There will be a tug of war, but then in the end, I'm going to win. That's how women are programmed. That is how society has programmed us. When in reality, the moment of red flags, and we're learning that now in our generation, it's like, I don't have to deal with this shit. Because niggas, people always say men don't change, or at a certain, and I do believe that after a certain age, yes, you are programmed a certain way. But if you want to change, we see it all the time. People change who they want to. If they know that they have a good person and she is like going to walk away, niggas straighten up all the fucking time. We see it.
Then and if they don't, be genuine because that don't be genuine though, because they changing up for her.
It's not, but it's doing right, and it's loving that person the way that they deserve to be loved. If I'm telling you, that's why I was saying that the only conversation that I want to have with a man is about, hey, this is how I want to be fucked. This is what I like, and how to love on me. People don't have those conversations because we talk about love languages and all of that stuff. People, you might have meet somebody that has all four. Well, you have to adapt to that. Just like we adapt to everything else in the world, you have to adapt to your partner. You have to have those conversations, and men should be having those conversations as well. It just should not always fall back on women. Men have certain needs and desires that need to be met as well. So if you can't figure that shit out, you got a personal problem. Go to therapy. Figure your shit out.
Man, this was an intriguing conversation. How you feel?
Yes, it definitely is.
I feel like, and it's crazy because I was like, I figured it was going to go like this because it was like, I don't know your theory. I don't know. I just heard from listening to your pod and things like that. You know, I was like, I want to dive in deeper. And I feel like, and I was saying before, I was like, I don't know how the first one would go. I was like, you seem like somebody I would continue to want to debate with on things because, you know, I can tell you're knowledgeable on a lot of things, and you know, you seem like an intriguing. Well, you are an intriguing woman to want to understand. So I don't know if you ever down to want to talk the shit again, you know. But I'm always down. Thank you. Is there you let people know where they can find you on social media and things like that?
Yes, my podcast is Whiskey Soured on IG. And there's the link tree in the bio of that, as well as support my business, which is St. Angeles, Shop St. Angeles on Instagram. The link is also in the bio. That's saint-angeles.com/candles. Buy a fucking candle. That's all I got.
How much candles?
I'm selling. My candles are luxury candles, so they're $30, and then there's a limited edition one that is $40. Don't tell me to drop my prices, because you hoes is buying candles from Tom Ford for $200. So, just saying.
You buying candles that much? I bought my son's mother a candle for a birthday. Cause I know she like candles. That shit was like $10.99.
I'm selling. Listen, I know
like, this ain't my girl, but I was like, I know she like candles. I was like, to me that was a lot. But I was like, she like this one. It's her birthday. Her first one with her being a mother of my son. Yeah, I'll get her the $10.99 candle.
See, you could have came and shop black on and got her a nice $30 candle that was made with love, and that's amazing. So,
and honestly, but I will keep that in mind because I like candles. Even if I get one for me, you know, we'll talk off air on that. So you said you got the candles, you got the pod. Is there anything else you do other than pod in terms of entertainment?
From time to time I do like red carpet hosting, but I haven't done that in a minute. So, but yeah, just trying to expand the brand and keep it moving. You know, hopefully, you know, my numbers will go up, and no, it's not hopefully when, so I can cop that whiskey sponsor. So that's all I'm working on.
Would you do a play? Would you act in a stage play?
I haven't acted since college. We can, you know, maybe we can figure out something. Maybe we can discuss it.
Just throwing things out. Like my productions be fun as shit. So it's like I never know who we really gonna have on this script right here. I kind of have a couple of actors already got set, you know, already, but I never really know until the script is done and I have it all sorted out, you know. But you're a beautiful woman. You got a great look. You seem like you got some great stage presence. You know,
I do. So. I acted in college, but I didn't do. I was going to try to do a minor in theater, but because of the demanding schedule of my degree and the demanding schedule of the theater, the conservatory, it did not align. So I took acting classes. So I took acting classes in high school and college.
Cool. With Dominique, how about to say, Lovings, you know, I think it's a cool, I like that name. It's a cool name right there.
That's my
But,
real name. What you gonna say?
no, I was gonna say your name and I hesitated. I was like, why am I hesitating saying her full name for? So, but that was it. But no, I appreciate you coming on the show. That weed, man, I'm high as hell. But I was in my zone though. We started getting intense towards the end. I like that though. But we thank you. I said we. I'm so used to having people with me. I'm like, we thank you. And then I was like, I thank you. I thank you for tapping in to the Authentic Podcast, Intriguing Nerds. We're gonna sign out. Any last words?
Nah, I told y'all where to find me. Like I said, and follow me. And yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you guys for tapping in. God bless. God bless.
Bye.